Hey, Alexia, how are you?
Hey, Foster, I'm fine. And you?
I am doing wonderfully. So let me just set the scene for all of our listeners out there. It is a holiday here in Portugal. I don't know what holiday it is. Nossa
Assumption of
Senhora.
Mary.
Sorry?
Assumption of Mary.
Ah, the assumption.
Yeah, it's a big deal, of course.
It's a big deal. So we arrived in Portugal like 2 months ago. We are dealing with some bureaucracy and personal matters. And to be honest, the apartment where we are staying right now, today is the first day that there has not been just crazy construction.
Yes, because really next to us, there is they are building a building.
They're building a building?
That's right?
Yeah, I would say they're working on a building.
Yeah. And it's going to take 540 days. 540 days
It's
to
gonna
finish.
Yeah.
This means that it's going to be in the middle of the next year.
Yeah, we don't know what's happening. The only thing I know is when there is construction here, which is almost always, it sounds like there is quite literally an earthquake happening.
Yes, and the funny thing is that the neighbor from downstairs, seu Antero, who is 95 years old, he lives all by himself with his wife.
Okay, so if he lives all by himself, then he doesn't live with his wife. I would say he just lives with his wife is probably the most natural way to say that.
Okay. One day he was so pissed that he's not very good with memory anymore.
Fair.
Yeah.
He's an older gentleman.
Yes, he is. And every time that he sees us, he's like, "Oh, how are you? Is it a good day?" And then he always finishes with boas festas.
Boas festas.
Yes. Because he thinks that he's during Christmas all the time.
Yeah, I have 2 funny stories to say about him.
Yeah, but the main point of this is that he thought that this construction was here, and then he grabbed my dad on the corner of the building and said, "What's going on there? Because you're making my life hell. You're turning my life hell." And my dad was like, "It's not us. It's not us." The other day he came here on our apartment.
In our apartment.
And he was like, "Senhor Marco, I'm so sorry. I was so rude at you, with you,
To you.
and I wanted to apologize." And then my dad opened the door and invited him inside the apartment to show him that there was nothing here.
Yeah. So what was happening was the neighbor who lives below us. So we are on the 3rd floor. He is on the 2nd floor. He is very, very old, and there is very loud construction in the building next to us.
Not next to us. Next to us, which is incredible.
Yeah, it is incredibly loud. It's unbelievably noisy and distracting. So, honestly, he's quite justified in thinking that the apartment directly above him has been under extreme construction. So he saw your dad on the street and was like, "Hey, when's the construction going to be done?" And your dad was like, "We aren't doing construction." And he's like, "You're lying. You're making my life hell." And then he realized his mistake and he came up to say he was sorry.
Nice.
He's very sweet.
It takes a lot for a person to say "I'm sorry" like that. It's amazing. I think it was amazing.
I'm sorry. Can I tell? So anyway, he entered the apartment with your dad, and then he was like, "Oh, there's no construction here. This apartment's very similar to mine.
And this plant looks very nice."
So that situation was resolved. 2 funny stories about our neighbor that lives below us. How do you say his name? I always mistake his name.
Antero.
Senor Antero.
Antero, yes.
I always say senhor enterro.
No, enterro, it's
Eu não
don't
sei o
say
que é.
that.
Senhor... Ele está chegando no ano.
That's horrible.
He's 95. Statistically, senhor
Antero.
Antero.
Do you remember that plaza in Leblon, Antero de Quental? Antero. Is
Maybe.
it the metro station plaza nowadays?
Okay, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. So, just 2 stories really fast. First, we live on the 3rd floor, so there's an elevator, but the elevator is not super reliable. Like, for example, Alexia and her dad have gotten stuck in the elevator.
10 times.
Not 10 times, don't exaggerate, but more than 3 times.
More than 5.
It kind of scares me a little bit.
It doesn't have a door.
Yeah. It's not a trustworthy elevator. Let's leave it at that. So a lot of times, if I'm feeling ambitious, I take the stairs. And one day, I was running down the stairs because I walk really fast.
Oh, really?
I like to walk fast. So I was walking down the stairs, and then just out of nowhere, Senor Antero just appeared, and he was like, "Why do you always take the stairs?" And I was like, "Não sei." And he's like, "É por causa do ginástico."
Da ginástica.
Eu acho que ele falou ginástico. Não, talvez ginástica. Eu falei, pois, que aqui fala muito pois, né?
Pois é, pois é.
Pois é, pois. But people always say pois.
No, that's what I'm saying. Pois é is pois.
Yeah. But I would say that here, pois is even more common than pois é.
É. Pois é, exactly.
Yeah. So whenever you want to say like, oh yeah, you can just say
Pois.
So he's like, are you just going up and down the stairs to get exercise, more or less? And I was like, yeah, more or less. And he was like, pois. And I was like, pois. And then he said, boas festas. And I was like, okay. My second story with our neighbor is the only time that I actually entered the elevator with him. He was like, which floor are you going to? I was like, the 3rd floor. There are only 3. You know who I am.
He doesn't know you. Amor, he forgets. He had to be fair.
Oh, I'm being very fair. But what I loved about this encounter with him was we were going up. He's leaving on the 2nd floor. I'm leaving on the 3rd floor. So when he's leaving the elevator on the 2nd floor, he looked at me and quite sincerely said, boa viagem.
It's perfect.
Like, I hope your trip to the 3rd floor is okay, which is literally like 5 meters away from
Yeah,
me.
and with his wife, like 2 days ago, yesterday. It was yesterday. I don't remember.
This was yesterday.
Yes, I was taking the stairs because you were taking the elevator, and I don't know why that happened. But she opened the door thinking that I was her maid. And then she opened it, and she was so like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And I'm like, that's okay. How are you? Nice to meet you. Because she never leaves the apartment because she's super scared. If you walk in front of their door, you're going to see a huge alarm system. I don't know what happened in their lives, but they are super afraid of everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, old people have a tendency to be a little bit paranoid.
Yeah, I get that. I am right now. Not here, but like, okay.
Yeah.
So
anyways,
she opened the door and she said, it's so nice to see you. Finally, Antero already told me about you guys. And I wanted to say hello. And I'm so sorry that I'm like this. She had like bobbies on her hair.
Yeah. How do you say bobbies in Portuguese?
Bobbies.
No, in English we say bobbies. Bobby pin. You can say a bobby pin.
Yeah.
The pin refers to the actual object. So, bobby pin.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
She had bobbies and a scarf on her hair. And
In her hair.
In her hair. And she was like, what's your name? And I, Alexia. And she, Alexia. And she wasn't understanding. And I was like, Alexia. Está ótimo. She didn't understand. But she was so nice. And then she was like, did you go to the beach? And I was like, yes. Oh, it's so nice out there. You should enjoy more.
Yeah, she is a sweetheart. Most people do not understand Alexia's name. Same thing with my name in most cases. We could record an entire other episode about weird names. But today is the first day in our apartment that there is no construction.
And we are celebrating this with some wine and pizza.
Yeah. So I just opened a bottle of wine. I turned on the recorder and said, Alexia, are you ready to record podcast? And she said, no, what are we talking about? And I said, I don't know. And
that's a huge lie.
What happened was we talked about senhor inteiro.
Sim. Pois. Okay, so let's wait for our pizza. That's the way that they call pizza here. Yeah, pizza.
Okay. We will talk to you guys soon.
Bye.